Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy. And he
lands good punches. I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping 2 divisions.
The Terence Crawford being, to me, my favorite fighter. I mean, the best fighter pound for pound can be Canelo. I mean, a 147-pounder moving up to 68.
Boxing fans, this could be the biggest fight of our lifetime. Terence Crawford is stepping up to challenge the Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez, and the whole world is asking one question: can skill really defeat size? Tonight, legends, trainers, and champions reveal shocking truths you've never heard before. Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see this fight forever. Floyd Mayweather explains why Terence Crawford will never beat Canelo Alvarez. He says the problem is not just about skills, but the weight difference. Moving up so many divisions means dealing with bigger size, more power, and stronger endurance. Canelo has already fought naturally bigger opponents for years, while Crawford is entering unknown territory. Mayweather believes this difference will be too much for Crawford to overcome, even with his great technical ability.
Because of the weight disadvantage. I can't go all the way up to 180 or 190 pounds.
Trainer Robert Garcia also points out that Crawford has no real experience at super middleweight. He says this is one of the biggest challenges of Crawford's career. Yes, Crawford has shown greatness in many divisions, but fighting in Canelo's natural weight class is a different story. Canelo has mastered his craft against bigger fighters, while Crawford's body has not fully adjusted to the added weight. Garcia notes that Crawford looks less explosive and not as sharp, which could be a big weakness against a champion like Canelo who dominates in this division.
Jumping 2 divisions where he only had one fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that. And that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford, but I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. Yeah. I think Crawford could pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull off a decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong. But Canelo's last few performances, he's looked slow, flat-footed, looking for one punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it off. Would I put my money on it? Probably not, but I do give him a chance.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, Robert, I appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me in the gym today. Always a pleasure. And hopefully be catching up sometime soon.
Thanks
appreciate
for coming.
it. Thank you
very
Cheers.
much.
Some experts highlight the massive stakes of this fight. If Crawford beats Canelo, his legacy will skyrocket. It would put him alongside Floyd Mayweather in the all-time great conversation. Defeating Canelo would prove that Crawford is the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of this generation. But analysts also stress that even if Crawford wins, it won't surpass Mayweather's legacy. Mayweather's undefeated career and dominance remain unmatched. Still, the chance for Crawford to reach such legendary status makes this fight historic.
3-time undisputed is insane. If you were to beat Canelo, Terence Crawford, at that point, pound for pound, right under Floyd. Wherever you got Floyd, whatever you got him, Terence Crawford is right behind him. Unless you got him first. Okay, how about me? Because I don't have Floyd in my top 10. I have Pacquiao over Floyd. So I know somebody's about to get moist, but I would put Terence Crawford, man, that's old school. That's Henry Armstrong, Sam Langford. Like that's old. That's Joe Gans and Barbados Joe Walcott and Barbados Joe, not Jersey. I'm Barbados. Like that's old school accomplishments. Man, that's throwback though. I would have to assess that. 3-time undisputed in the 4-belt era, and against who? Yo, that I don't think Pacquiao would have I don't think he achieved anything in a single fight that would be greater than Terence Crawford jumping up 3 weight classes and beating Canelo. I don't think Pacquiao achieved anything in a single fight greater than that. Not in a single fight. Beating Cotto, I still, because Cotto was weight drained. Has Floyd done anything? Well, he beat Canelo.
Jeff Mayweather reacted strongly to Canelo saying Crawford is better than Floyd. According to Jeff, that statement is not about truth but about Canelo trying to protect his image. Since Canelo lost clearly to Floyd, suggesting Crawford is better gives Canelo a way to excuse his defeat. Jeff explains that Crawford is very talented but has not yet reached Floyd's level of dominance. Floyd's undefeated record and the way he beat elite opponents prove his greatness, and no fair comparison can be made until Crawford achieves much more.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20 something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, very, very young in the game, obviously.
Yeah, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
are you at the top of your career in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Want
to make himself look like he did something great.
Coach Joel Diaz completely dismisses Crawford's chances. He says the size difference is simply too big. Canelo has fought powerful punchers like Golovkin and survived their best shots. Diaz asks, if Canelo can take punches from Golovkin, how can Crawford, who has only faced smaller men, hurt him? Diaz believes Crawford's skills are good, but skill alone can't close the gap in physical strength. Moving up in weight always takes a toll, and Diaz insists that Canelo's strength and toughness will be too much for Crawford to handle.
You ask him who Skull is, they don't even know who he is. I don't even know who he is. But they chose him for a reason, right? Guy with a good record. But
he's a champion.
He's a champion.
He's got the kind of the other stone that's out there that Canelo needs to connect. Again, the fight against Terence Crawford.
It's a fight for Canelo to win. Simple as that. That's what I can tell you.
Then in September, if Canelo wins, he's got Terence Crawford waiting in the wings.
There is no way that Terence Crawford, being to me my favorite fighter, the best fighter pound for pound, can beat Canelo. A 147-pounder moving up to 68, he can only maybe go 2-3 rounds, and then Canelo hits him and he hurts him. Canelo's being hit by Triple G, the hardest hitter in the division, and never hurt him. But Canelo will hit Crawford and he'll hurt him. Let's put it this way. You remember the fight Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade?
Yes.
Demetrius Andrade was a great fighter. Nobody wanted to fight him at 54. He moved to 60. Fought 1 or 2. Nobody wanted to fight him at 60. So what did he do? He moved up to 68 because there was nothing for him to fight Benavidez, a big fighter like that. Look what he did in the first early round. Demetrius Andrade was in control. He was doing great. But once that weight starts kicking in, it takes over. There is no way that Crawford can beat Canelo. Turkey on the sheet. It's a big fan of Terence Crawford. He wants to give him a good payday, and simple as that. That's all it is, man.
The ring size has also been discussed. Whether it is 18 feet or 22 feet, most experts agree it will not change the outcome. Crawford's fans think a bigger ring helps him use his movement and angles. But analysts remind that Canelo has fought in all types of rings and adapted well each time. Even if a bigger ring gives Crawford small advantages, it cannot erase Canelo's power and size advantage. At the end of the day, the result will depend on skill and execution, not just ring dimensions.
One of the biggest things in this Canelo Crawford fight we are not talking about is the ring size. If these guys are fighting in the non-traditional 18 by 18 ring, you're gonna want to put your money on Canelo, guys. It is a big difference. Losing out on that extra 4 feet is gonna be an issue for Crawford. It's still possible. Crawford's talented, he's athletic. He has all the potential in the world to pull off a crazy upset here. No matter the ring size, it don't matter. Terence Crawford's that brilliant, he's that excellent. But I'm gonna tell you, man, losing out on that 4 feet is gonna hurt his odds. It's the same thing with 22 feet. Like I said, I don't know what ring they're going with, but if it is in the 22 feet, it's gonna hurt Canelo's odds by a pretty decent margin. Maybe not as much as it's gonna hurt Crawford odds in the 18, but it's still gonna hurt it. You're giving Crawford an extra 4 feet to pivot, maneuver, slip, bob, weave, do whatever he wants. That's gonna give Canelo some issues. I feel like we're not talking about this enough. I heard Turkey said it was gonna be at 18. That was a really long time ago. Like I said, I don't know if they've confirmed what it's gonna be quite yet, but I think it's interesting. Once we get the official announcement, you guys, that's when you place your bets.
Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence has given his fans hope. That fight showed Crawford's timing, adaptability, and killer instinct. But experts warn that Spence is not the same kind of challenge as Canelo. Spence is not a naturally bigger man, while Canelo is. Analysts compare this situation to fighters like Israel Madrimov, strong, bigger opponents Crawford has never faced. On the other hand, Canelo has already fought men larger than him and still succeeded. The worry is that Crawford's brilliance at welterweight may not work against a naturally strong super middleweight like Canelo.
Hey y'all, the simple real fact is, Terence Crawford never looked that good fighting anybody but Errol Spence. Another real fact is, y'all put too much on Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Y'all act like he just beat fucking Jesus or Thanos or something. Okay, I get it. Errol Spence was that guy. He beat him. He dominated him. He won that fight. But y'all take that and y'all put so much on that fight, but then y'all look at the Madrimov fight and say, he was a tricky fighter. He's hard for anybody. No one can beat Madrimov. He's the second best fighter in the world because he went 12 rounds with Crawford. Not the case. Y'all put too much on the Errol Spence fight and y'all don't put enough on the Madrimov fight. Then we go back to Canelo. Y'all say Canelo, he don't stop nobody. When last time he knocked nobody? If he can't knock out Berlanga, he's not gonna knock out. If he can't knock out him, he's not gonna knock out Crawford, bruh. Just like Crawford went up to 54 and he couldn't get a knockout, Canelo has gone up to 75. He couldn't knock out Bivol. He went up to 68, and those guys are way bigger. He's fighting guys way bigger than him. Crawford could knock out Madrimov because he's his size. So you think he gonna knock out Canelo? He's bigger than Canelo. Bro, Canelo got a granite chin. I don't know if y'all know the Canelo. And the only people who saying that Crawford's gonna knock Canelo out is people who has to be casuals. They probably have not watched the fight since the Tank last fight, or they probably ain't watched the fight since the Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford fight. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all niggas didn't even see that Madrimov fight. Y'all just synced it and y'all running with it. Cut it out.
Gabe Rosado talks about Canelo's loss to Floyd Mayweather, calling it a turning point in Canelo's career. Back then, Canelo was young, inexperienced, and not ready for a defensive genius like Floyd. That defeat humbled him, but it also helped him grow. Since then, Canelo has improved his technique, built his confidence, and learned how to deal with every style. Rosado says this new, battle-tested version of Canelo is far more dangerous than the one who lost to Floyd. And this is the version Crawford will have to face.
Could be too soon for Xander, but who knows, man? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like Canelo needed more seasoning when he fought Floyd, or do you think that Floyd just got his number? Period.
I think he was very inexperienced when he fought Floyd. You know, he's a different fighter, but see, everybody's different. That fight is what made Canelo become the fighter that he is today. So, you know, that's why boxing, man, is like when they shame guys for losses, it's like, man, you just got to really see how a fighter bounces back from a loss. It's like, because, you know, when Canelo lost to Floyd, there was a lot of things that Canelo learned in that fight that he added to his game. Next thing you know, Canelo started moving his head and his counters got better and his speed, and he understood timing. He understood how to like break guys down differently because he learned that off Floyd. So I think it was a good learning experience for Canelo. And then, you know, I think that kind of fight is gonna help him in the Crawford fight.
Sebastian Fundora warns that Crawford may not fully understand the toll fighting Canelo.